Good morning. So today, Thursday, 19th of January, only 10 more days left. Wow, it's going really fast. And it's a really intense program today because we are going to visit 5 wineries. And I'm so excited and really impatient to go to the winery of Good Hope tonight, where we will meet up with Alex Dahl, fantastic guy. So voilà, let's go. Tous les matins, c'est la même rengaine. Faut mettre le GPS en route ou utiliser son cerveau. Et ça, c'est pas mal aussi. Meerlust.
Head northeast, then slight right.
Good morning. Hi. Yes, that's right. Thanks.
And again, all hand arms that comes into the cellar, crushing, destalking into stainless steel for fermentation. So pump overs, we give it quite a long maceration on the skins, especially the Merlot, and run off into 65% new oak, 35% second fill for maturation. The Rubicon was first produced in 1980, and it was then one of the first Bordeaux style wines to be produced in South Africa. When it was made, they didn't have a name for it, so they didn't know what to call it, and blended wines were considered to sort of be quite cheap in South Africa, and they were introducing a blended wine as a flagship wine, so they weren't quite sure what to call it. And then a professor at the University of Stellenbosch suggested the name Rubicon, and Rubicon comes from Julius Caesar when he was still a governor in the Roman Empire, and the northern boundary of the Roman Empire was the Rubicon River. And Caesar decided he wanted to change the politics in Rome and cross the Rubicon River, and you weren't allowed to cross with your troops. If you crossed the river, it signified your intent to attack Rome. So he crossed the river, and when he crossed the river, he said alia iacta est, which means the die is cast, which means there's no turning back. And that's why they have the expression of crossing the Rubicon. So for Meerlust, this was a crossing of the Rubicon. There was no turning back. This was going to be the wine for the future. And it became a sort of an instant success from there. There's the first grapes coming in. So this is one of the oldest Cape Dutch houses that's still in the original. That used to be what they called a slave bell.
Slave bell.
So they used to ring the bell, and then all the slaves would.
Arrivé à Forrester.
This is 2016. This guy, the vineyard is 48 years old, and the farmer contacted me. Why don't you just shove that door closed behind you, please? Sorry. Come in, Phantom. Come on. In or out? All right, come on in.
If you would look
Yes.
that side, that is the Helderberg mountain. That one there is the Stellenbosch mountain, and the one in the far is the Simonsberg. So this area, and specifically where we are with us going into the valley this side and coming out on that side, is known as the Golden Triangle. The Golden Triangle is really good for Shiraz.
Why is that?
It's because of the soil, I think.
Granite? They have granites?
We have. It's probably not particularly just granite, but it's a very high rocky content soils, which is what Shiraz loves to grow. Quite arid, and Shiraz, because it's such a big grower, is a variety that you don't want to plant in soil that is very, I think, lucrative and like rich. You want to grow it in something that hasn't got such rich soils, just in order to control the growth of the vine, because if you can do that much more naturally, you get a much better product. Sauvignon Blanc I have, from a commercial point, we're a restaurant. South African people love Sauvignon Blanc, and this is where we sell the most of the Sauvignon Blanc.
For last tasting of the day, we are going here. Rust and Vrede. I'm still very bad with pronunciation.
We generally don't, like I told you in the email, we generally don't take reservations, so we are able to help.
Yeah. Okay.
So you want to do wine tasting,
Yeah.
and you've got quite a lot to get through, or is this your last stop for the day?
I have one more to go after.
Okay.
I mean, Stellenbosch 14 was difficult vintage, 15 was more powerful, and 16 was drier. That's right? So in terms of style. So 14 will be lighter than 15 and 16?
Yes.
Okay.
14 was for Vrede. It was our biggest yield ever. So the wines, luckily, even though it was a very big vintage for us, we didn't sacrifice any quality, but it means that the wines are a little bit more smooth and elegant. Yeah.
Okay.
This Helderberg Valley has the best climate or microclimate for Syrah and Cabernet in particular, because it's really nice and hot, and we're very well protected from all the wind by the mountains around. So
Are you still on what they call the golden triangle?
yes, I don't hear people talking about the Golden Triangle very much, but yes, yeah.
Okay.
For me, the Golden Triangle's in India.
Oh, okay.
On ramasse tout à la main, bien entendu. Pas bien entendu. Tout à la main. Puis on a créé ça, c'est un car wash pour les caisses. Non, c'est la bagnole pour les caisses.
Ah, d'accord.
Le poids des caisses pousse à travers et c'est la lave entre chaque ramassage.
Ah, mais c'est super cool ça.
Salut,
Bonjour, ça va?
tu as passé une bonne journée?
Oui, c'était dur après hier soir.
Ah,
Oh, ça vient d'Autriche?
merci.
Ah, Autriche, ouais, j'ai vu ça.
I just put it on today.
C'est que des blancs.
Le bois autrichien, j'en ai goûté seulement un petit peu en Italie. Ça a quoi comme influence sur tes vins?
Écoute, c'est des forêts qui sont où le climat est très froid. Donc ça fait que tu as des grain, comment ça se dit déjà?
Le grain,
extrêmement fin. Donc, souvent c'est très difficile de distinguer par rapport aux meilleures forêts de France. C'est la première fois qu'on sort ça, donc on va voir ce que ça donne. Mais Stockinger, c'est la Rolls Royce des foudriers.
So Chenin is our biggest focus, but we don't only make Chenin. We make some decent Chardonnay as well, I like to think.
Some indecent Chardonnay.
Yes. And these days it's not so uncommon anymore to find Stellenbosch Chardonnays which are more about the backbone and the acidity than it is about the big fruit and the heaviness and things like that. So we pick early because we want to conserve that acidity. We work naturally, so if it goes through mallow, it doesn't really matter to us because we picked early and we have the tension and the acidity and the zing built into the wine.
So we don't add any acidity. We don't acidify.
Yeah.
So you have to, as you know, you have to pick at the right time.
There's a school of thought when it comes to winemaking that you can replace acidity that when you lose it in the vineyard in a different place. And if you lose all that acidity and you replace it with one acidity, tartaric acid, it will hit you very hard in one spot. And that's when you get that burn. It ruins the flow of the wine. You know?
So when you taste the wine, the way for you to define the tartaric acidic that was added is when you get that very tight
Yes,
and
like
pleasant
hard.
hot
Exactly.
acid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. And it
Hard's the right word.
Yeah, it ruins the flow of the wine, you know. From the entrance to the finish, you want it to be all one flowing thing. And this spike, as you will.
We bring in directly from Burgundy ourselves.
ça.
And in fact, we actually import them and reallocate barrels to other wine producers so that they don't appoint an agent.
Tu choisis quoi comme chauffe et tout? Tu leur demandes, tu choisis pas ceux qui te donnent.
Ni la forêt, ni la chauffe. Ils mettent ça pour l'export parce qu'il y a des gens qui veulent ça. Et en fait, c'est la chauffe chasse.
D'accord.
Je ne précise pas le bois ni la chauffe. Je vais faire confiance à la chasse. Frangin, du Yes.
Ton frère?
Enchanté.
Enchanté?
Stéphanie,
Oui, c'est ça. Ah oui. Ton grand frère ou petit frère?
Mon petit frère, ça se voit pas?
Il est plus petit, oui.
And it's actually half whole bunches, Carpentier, and half by entier. So, Pinotage, as you probably well know, has a terrible reputation, and it's not a mistake or a lie that most of the Pinotage available is crap. But it's not the grape's fault, I don't think. We have been looking at where it comes from. Its mother being Pinot and its father being Cinsault, and it just didn't make sense to treat it like a Cabernet. And so we work. This is the second year we're fermenting in this cuve, and it's also the second year that we're doing whole bunches. Before that, we were doing whole berries because we want to reduce the kind of tough tannins that Pinotage can have, while bringing out the fruit and making a wine that is actually quite soyeux.
La vue, elle est pas mal quand même d'ici.
We never rack. We never take off the lees in the barrel. Never ever. Because like that, by taking the lees away, you sort of you supercharge the speed of the maturation. It's not the right way. The best way is to keep it on lees, because the lees, yes, it slows down the maturation, but you get a much denser kind of tannin, and you get a much better integration of the oak, because the lees is the glue between the wood and the wine.
So you preserve freshness. There's a lot of CO2 in the lees, and retaining the every time you rack a wine out of the barrel, you're losing a lot of the CO2. And because we use so little sulfur, our natural protection against preservation, if you like, is increased levels of CO2.
And on the nose, the funkiness is what?
It's the funkiness, I suppose,
Yeah.
but it's something that we get from this soil type here. It's
Okay.
a very iron-rich kind of soil, so it's often like smells a bit like charcuterie or
Oui,
blood
miti.
or something like that.
Ouais, 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 c'est ce que j'ai.
That's something.
And
that
it also has that sort of ferrous
grittiness.
characteristic.
But this is your terroir
Yes.
that does
I
that.
think so, very
Yeah.
definitely. Also, you know, if we were in France, we would say there's an element of Gary in our Syrah, but we're
Right.
not. We're not in France, so we say Fynbos.
What?
Famous is the same as Garrigue. It's the South African Garrigue. The reason I called the company Wine of Good Hope is perhaps that was the meaning of your question. Two reasons. First of all, I wanted it to be immediately recognisable as being South African and have some pedigree, have some tradition, to evoke.
This fruit concentration feels a little bit oily, creamy, oily. It's viscous. It's a direct result of this intervine competition that we were talking about and the deep roots.